We got Mike Evans and Sam Howell as the topics on this latest Across the Middle show. I'm your host, Sean Kuzma. We're going to start with Mike Evans. It sounds like Mike Evans is about to get a huge payday. The Buccaneers are going to pay Mike Evans, at least that's what it sounds like. I think this is a good decision by the Buccaneers, even though it's been like 9 years. Mike Evans has flat out dominated. He's earned a contract extension. He deserves every little bit of this money. I think the Buccaneers are smart enough to realize that there's still some gas in the tank when it comes to Mike Evans. The last thing they want to do is have too much turnover either. You know, when people start leaving in bunches, I guess you can say, that's when things get really bad. You know, like if it was Tom Brady, Mike Evans, then someone else leaves too. Suddenly you got a problem. By holding this thing together a little bit, by keeping Mike Evans there, by inserting Baker Mayfield into Tom Brady's old role, at least the Buccaneers aren't completely dead in the water. They're going backwards by losing Tom Brady. Let's be honest. We can't not call it like we see it. But, you know, you still got Mike Evans there. You still got Chris Godwin there. I mean, those are some pieces that can help Baker Mayfield at least come in and try to at least keep, you know, some level of play going in the Buccaneers' favor. Without Tom Brady, the Super Bowls probably aren't going to be there anymore, you know, unless Baker Mayfield puts on a miracle. We've seen him do some miracles before. Some of those games he had last year with the Rams were exciting. They were fun to watch. It was fun to root for Baker Mayfield. You know, I'm not a guy that's going to write Baker Mayfield off. I think he kind of got the short end of the stick with the Cleveland Browns. I think he showed some good things with the Rams when he was actually on a team that actually had some weapons. I think that was a good thing for Baker Mayfield to show that he can still play and still be a contributor for a team. And, you know, if you get Baker Mayfield with some confidence, that's when you get the real Baker Mayfield. He built a little bit of confidence up with the Rams. You guys know he did. Just because he won some games, he showed what he can do. He got a little confidence from winning those games with the Rams. I think Baker Mayfield is looking to gain a little bit more confidence and getting back to Baker. That's the thing for him. He's got a starting job with the Buccaneers. This is his chance to really show who Baker Mayfield really is. You know, I know it's only a 1-year deal, but really this is an audition to be the starter for the foreseeable future. If Baker Mayfield doesn't do it with the Buccaneers, what are the other options? You know they're going to start looking at quarterbacks in the draft. They'll see if Kyle Trask can play. Those are the other options. So, to me, I take Baker Mayfield over all those guys. I hope Baker Mayfield does well. I'm rooting for him. I know some people don't like Baker because, you know, he's kind of, you know, he plays with a lot of passion, and sometimes that passion can spill over into recklessness, you know, but I'm a fan of Baker Mayfield. I think it's a good thing for the league if he's tearing it up. It was exciting. Like I said, it was exciting when he was winning those games for the Rams. It was exciting that he was bouncing back and showing the Browns that, hey, you guys forgot about me. Now, I know Deshaun Watson is an upgrade, but it was exciting to see Baker Mayfield bounce back and really show that, you know, it's too soon to write him off. I think the Buccaneers situation is a good fit for Mayfield. You know, you got Chris Godwin, you got Mike Evans. Mike Evans is, you know, dominant. Chris Godwin is a really good number 2. Those guys can play. So I think Mike Evans and Mayfield are going to link up the same way that Brady and Evans linked up. That seems to be the way things are going. I think if Baker Mayfield wants a shot to be there 3-4 years after this 1-year deal, he needs to really lean on Mike Evans and make sure that Mike Evans is the guy that is doing for him what, you know, Mike Evans did for Johnny Manziel at Texas A&M. That's what has to happen in order for Mike Evans to really, you know, save Baker Mayfield's career, because that's where we're at right now. And I don't even know if we need Baker Mayfield's career to be saved, because he showed with the Rams that, you know, he can play. but there's a lot of people that are still casting doubts about him. It wouldn't be good for Baker Mayfield if he didn't have success here. That's why you got to sign Mike Evans to make sure that Baker Mayfield does have a fair shot. And if not, then maybe Kyle Trask has a fair shot. That's where we're at. Mike Evans is the guy that's going to, hold things over until they can figure things out at the quarterback position. I think that's another reason that the Buccaneers had to keep Mike Evans. The other story we have up is the Sam Howell story. Sam Howell is going to be the starting quarterback for the Washington Commanders. Let's not forget he was the quarterback at North Carolina for all those years. The guy can play. There's a reason he's the starting quarterback going into the season. It could have been someone else. It wasn't, because the Commanders are confident to at least give Sam Howell 1 year. So a lot like Baker Mayfield with the Buccaneers, this is an audition year for Sam Howell. Can he show that he's capable of being a starting quarterback in the National Football League? I believe he can. I've always been high on Sam Howell going back to North Carolina. I've seen some of his games when he was a Tar Heel. So I'm not going to write this guy off. I wasn't surprised the least bit that he basically came away with the Commanders' #1 job at the end of last year. I knew Carson Wentz wasn't going to work out. I think most of us knew Carson Wentz wouldn't work out. It just wasn't there. It hasn't been there lately, with the Colts, the Eagles. It hasn't been there for Carson Wentz. It was just a great start and then crashing back to earth. Wasn't too bad with the Colts, but, gets another shot with the Commanders. For whatever reason, it doesn't work. Sam Howell kind of picks up and takes it from there. I mean, I'm excited for Sam Howell. I want to see him go out there and throw that thing all over the place and show that, hey, a guy that slips a little bit in the draft can still be a great player for a team, because you guys, when I say you guys, I mean the draft evaluators just completely forgot about Sam Howell. He's a guy that should have been going way higher than he did. For whatever reason, they overlook him. They act like he can't play. He reminds me a lot of Baker Mayfield. He's like another Baker Mayfield. I don't want to say he's a poor man's Baker Mayfield. I think Howell shouldn't be viewed in that light. I honestly believe he can surprise people with the Commanders. I really do, because I think the guy can play. I think he's going to step in there and show some people what he can do. I think him and Terry McLaurin can link up and at least give the offense something. I mean, that's what I'm looking at right now. Sam Howell, Terry McLaurin, a quarterback wide receiver combo they're both looking for the other side. Terry McLaurin is looking for a quarterback that he can build with and they can stick around for a while. He hasn't really had that. They've been bouncing all over the place at quarterback. They were Carson Wentz last year. Sam Howell gets to start towards the end of the year. Kind of comes into the season as the starter from here on out. And, it's up to Sam Howell to show that he can be the man for the Commanders. In order to do that, he needs Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin needs a quarterback too. He's got a young prospect in Sam Howell that he can build with. I think this is it for those guys. I think Sam Howell is going to be the dark horse that wins, so to say, in the quarterback race, because, he was a guy that could always play, gets overlooked coming out of college. He was a guy that could play in college, gets overlooked coming out of college. Then, he lands with the Commanders. We're all like, okay, he's going to run Carson Wentz for that job. It took a year, but this following year, guess what? Sam Howell's the starter. Carson Wentz isn't. So we were kind of all right about that. We all thought he was going to take Carson Wentz's job. Now Sam Howell has the starting job. Now the question is, can Sam Howell be a starting quarterback in the NFL full time? Because making that jump and carrying a team for the full time, 17 games, that's a little bit different story. You got to be locked in. Luckily, Sam Howell is prepared for this moment. He's ready to go. He's ready to show that the lights at the NFL level aren't too bright for him. I really do think he's going to show up. I think he's going to link up with Terry McLaurin, and those two guys are going to make something happen for the Commanders. You watch. They're going to surprise some people. I mean, it's a tough division. You got the Cowboys and the Eagles are both good right now, so the Giants are, they were a playoff team last year. It's a tough division. There's no doubt about that. But, the Commanders feel good with Sam Howell and Terry McLaurin. It's about, getting some other guys that can play. Those guys look to be the real deal for the Commanders. That's all I got in this latest episode. I'm your host, Sean Kuzma. Everybody have a great day. Take care.